WPHY Verizon Channel 28. I'm your host, Gerald Trueheart with Trenton Public Schools. We have our co-host from Trenton Public Schools, Denise Crease, parent, coordinator, homeless liaison. We have a great program for you tonight. Tonight, we're going to be having a conversation with Melda Grant. She is our coordinator of school-based youth services at the Trenton Central High School. Melda is here with us this evening. We also will have with us tonight our Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools, Hope Grant, later on in the program. So I want to start out with you, Melda Grant. If you would please provide us with an overview of the program of youth-based, school-based youth services at the high school, please. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me on. Again, my name is Melda Grant, and I'm the coordinator for the school-based youth services program at Trenton High School. This year, we're actually fortunate in that our district has invested funds that we've actually expanded. We're also, in addition to being at Trenton Central High School, we are now housed at Daylight Twilight High School, Trenton 9th Grade Academy, Dunn Middle School, King Middle School, and Holland Middle School. The school-based youth services program is actually one of the original school-based programs that was funded by the state of New Jersey Department of Children and Families. So we've been in existence for actually over 35 years in Trenton High School as the main historical site. We provide support services to students and to families, and we're designed to address any barriers to being successful in school. So there's 3 components that school-based provides as it relates to service components. We have a mental health component where we provide individual, family, and group counseling for students. There is a positive youth development component that focuses on all things related to healthy youth development, healthy relationships, civic engagement, employability skills. And that particular component, we are able to be as creative as possible in that we also focus on school-wide types of activities, in classroom presentations, field trips, college tours, social and recreational types of activities. And then our third component is our parent linking program, which is our program that is designed to support expectant and parenting teens in the district. And that program provides intensive case management with a case manager. We provide transportation for expectant and parenting teens. And in the new construction of the high school, there's actually a childcare center on site for any custodial parenting team. And again, that program is comprehensive in that the goal of the entire program is to prevent dropout for all students, but especially our parenting and expectant teens.
That's great. That's great, Melda. You were originally 35 years is a testimony to the work you have done in Trenton. Over the years. Not sure. How long have you been the coordinator for the program, right. School-based youth services? Right.
So let me clarify. So the program has been in existence for over 35 years. And actually, I have been the coordinator for 19 of those 35 years.
19
yes.
years.
19 years, yes.
you laid the groundwork for us. Not only laying the groundwork for us at Trenton Central High School, where originally services were wrapped around those students at Trenton High School, but now the expansion, right? The expansion this year, actually from last year into this year, the expansion into 9th Grade Academy, the expansion to the middle schools. What does that look like in terms of the expansion, right? How is that now, in your estimation, impacting the students at those levels? And are you seeing an impact of the services being offered and an increase in the number of referrals and the number of students who are coming to the program for support and services?
Absolutely. So I will say a lot of times, so I've worked with a lot of the current principals when they were vice principals at the high school. And when they became principals of, let's say, the middle schools or the other high schools, they would always inquire about receiving the same types of supports that they knew were available at the high school. So it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to expand to the other high schools. I can say that in the 2021-22 fiscal year. At the high school alone, we service about 850 individual students who received either individual counseling services or some form of group services. So the high schools, although they're different in name, the populations are very similar with some of the very similar issues. So to be able to provide counseling and support services and to be able to put a youth development specialist and a clinician in some of these other schools, we've been able to support administration. We've been able to work with teachers by providing in-classroom presentations. Our mental health clinicians are available on site. So when there is an issue with a particular student, whether it's a crisis, whether it's a bad day, we are on site and can actually address that immediate need right there in the school. So again, we partner with guidance counselors, teachers, child study team members, and every other support staff in the building. And we accept referrals for students from all staff in the building. And a lot of our referrals actually even come from our security and custodial staff, because they're the ones who are in the hallways. They're the ones who live in the community. So a lot of times they're very familiar with the families and the situations that are occurring in the community and in the homes of a lot of the students. But we partner with everyone and support the entire school.
That's excellent. That's excellent. I think that leads right to a change in climate and culture, right? I mean, you have a student that has challenges, needs mental health counseling, or has challenges, needs positive youth development services in the school. Do you find the students, once they say a student is referred, do you find those students, and sometimes maybe the families, are they somewhat reluctant initially, or are they really open arms in terms of, yes, I thank you for the referral. I'm interested in sitting down and working through some challenges that I may have. What do you see in terms of the give and take from not only the student, but from the parent?
So I think initially any student is a little concerned or cautious about coming to someone that they're meeting for the first time. So again, we're designed to address the whole child. So when a student comes, it's a safe place. Our staff are highly trained. Our clinicians are master's level clinicians. Our case manager has a bachelor's in social work, and our youth development specialists have had to have come to us with some type of experience working with youth. So the staff are very loyal and dedicated, and their rapport, they have the ability to establish quick rapport and a safe space with our students. So I can honestly say that a lot of kids come back multiple times, trusting the service, seeing it as credible, seeing it as beneficial, and seeing it as supportive.
So also just want to again welcome Hope Grant to the call, Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools. She's joined our call broadcast this afternoon. How you doing, Hope?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Glad to see you. Glad you're here and joining us this afternoon.
Yeah.
So back to you, Melda.
Okay.
Can you quickly just go right back through the services that are being offered? I know you mentioned it earlier in the program. I think it's important to note those services again.
Yes.
The 3 or 4 different pockets of or group of services that you are providing to the students and the parents and the families.
Yeah, so there's 3 components. We provide mental health counseling on site in the school, in our space in the school. So that's individual counseling, family counseling, and group counseling, because one of the goals is to engage the family as much as possible. So students may come to us individually and address any issues that they're having. We provide groups that focus on healthy relationships. We provide groups for girls in particular that may focus on, in addition to healthy relationships, sexual health, stress and anxiety, self-esteem. For boys, we offer the same, but from a male perspective. And then families, we are able to reach out to parents and offer them the opportunity to come to the school as well to participate in a lot of the counseling services, which also helps support that whole parental engagement piece and trust in the school engagement and cohesion. So that's one of the components, mental health counseling. Then our second component is our positive youth development component. And that's pretty much designed to promote healthy adolescent types of activities. So anything from conflict resolution to safe dating, to safer choices as it relates to health, safer choices as it relates to relationships. We also focus on different types of themes. We are able to bring speakers in and we promote assembly programs. We promote activities in the, let's say the cafeteria. We go into classrooms. Let's say a teacher may say, can you come into our classroom and talk about this particular topic? So we're able to go into classrooms and address any issues that we kind of see that may be presenting themselves in the high school. And then our third component, which is actually just in the high school, is our parent linking program. And that's designed to support any expectant and parenting teen. And the goal is to ensure that no parenting teen has to drop out of school because they do not have access to childcare or transportation.
You know, it's interesting to me and really a positive when we built the high school, when the state built the high school in partnership with the city and the board and the district personnel administration, was to build out the daycare, or actually it's a daycare, but it's a daycare for this specific program, the parent linking program. And if you visit, I had an opportunity last year to go by the school and actually go to the actual daycare center. And it's equipped very well. And it's right towards the outside. So it has its own entrance so that families, so that students with children can access that facility. Can you share more about that particular facility itself and how it's being serviced and how it's being used by our not only are they parents, but they are actually students as well?
Yes, so it's actually a part of the construction of the high school. So we partner with the Children's Home Society of New Jersey, who actually provides the actual childcare services and transportation. So the licensed capacity of the classroom is 12. And we currently have 8 babies in the program, and then there's still about 6 students who are expecting. So by January, the childcare center will be full. I can say that this year, 8 parents graduated. So each year, yes. And I can honestly say without that particular program, a lot of our students would not have access to childcare and would potentially drop out of school. So each year we graduate anywhere between 6 to 8 parents who without that particular service would have had challenges with regard to graduation on time.
When you think about it, I'm a parent, I'm a young parent, 18, 19, maybe 17 years old, and I have a child and I wanted to finish high school. It was very difficult to have a child and have to go to daycare, then have to go to school, and then the transportation issues, but to be able to come right to school.
Absolutely.
Drop off your child at school and get those services, and then be able to matriculate through the high school and through your academic career and student achievement and graduate. That service is worth its weight in gold. I mean, I just want to say that the statistics that you just mentioned about the number of students that we graduate out of that program that otherwise would not graduate because of the challenges with childcare and other things that they may be challenged with in terms of maybe transportation, whatever it might be, that service is a great service. Wanted to segue just a little bit. I know we have our parent coordinator, our co-host on the line, homeless liaison on the line. What is the link between our parent coordinator at the district level and the school youth-based services program at the high school? Denise?
We work very well together. Whenever there is resources, we share that information together. If ever they have identified a student that is displaced, they share that information with me, and then we work side by side to ensure that that youth is being provided, additional services and care.
That's excellent. That's excellent. One of the other things that I think is important around positive youth development services is really beginning to develop, not that one is already developed, but in continuing to enhance the climate and culture at the high school and at the middle school level and at the ninth grade academy levels. So one of the things I wanted to ask Melda is, in terms of the positive youth development services, what impact have you had on the climate and culture in those facilities?
So,
Melda?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, so a lot of times our youth development specialist is able to partner with the climate and culture specialists, develops a relationship with parents, and is able to teach life skills. So we use curricula that promote life skills. So a lot of times kids come to us and what the referral says, we find is actually the surface. A lot of times our students come to us and there are so many other issues that they're dealing with, and being able to come in open forums and maybe discuss what some of those issues are, or to work with a youth development specialist and not just get the referred need met, but a secondary type of need, or even your primary need, because then our focus becomes the secondary focus, right? So we focus a lot. It can be a social service call. It can be a call to a family member. It can be a conversation just about life. And once we are able to open up, or we have that child open up with us, we begin to see that we model behavior, we teach behavior, we teach skills that then, and decision-making is big. Decision-making and choices are very big in what we do with the youth development specialist model, or the youth development model rather. So it affects the climate in that there's a decrease in truancy, there's a decrease in referrals to the culture and climate specialists, there's a decrease maybe in suspensions, and then there's an increase in their involvement in school-based and school-wide activities that promote positive and healthy behaviors.
I like the partnerships, right? So the partnership with the climate and culture specialists, the partnership with Denise Crease, who's our parent coordinator, homeless liaison at the district level, partnership with the Children's Home Society, with the child care and the parent linking program. What are some of the other outside, like Children's Home Society, other outside partners that we are linking up with and partnering with to provide additional support for the school-based youth services program?
So, right, so the Children's Home Society is one. Our clinical staff are hired through a subcontract with Oaks Integrated Care. I participate in the Traumatic Loss Coalition of Mercer County meetings. Our case manager, our Prevent Child Abuse New Jersey provides technical assistance for our parent linking program. So Prevent Child Abuse New Jersey. So the Mercer County Youth Services Commission is one of the agencies that we actually sit in on their meetings. Mercer County Board of Social Services, Children's Futures Nurse Family Partnership is one of our referring agencies to and from. I'm sure I'm leaving someone out. Central Jersey Maternal and Child Health Consortium is another agency that we partner with, and the Trenton community stakeholders.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I'm familiar with Trenton community stakeholders. The opportunity to have conversations with them about services in the district, services to parents and to students. So the school-based youth services at the state level was sponsored through Department of Children and Families.
Yes.
And that's the Office of what? Office of Link Services, or I'm trying to remember what.
So under the Department of Children and Families, Family and Community Partnerships, Office of School Linked Services.
Services.
Yes.
And so in school-based youth services is one of the components of that overall umbrella at the state level.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Right. And so we're partnering also with the state, providing services to our students here in the city of Trenton. One of the things I wanted to ask is in terms of parent participation. I know you have the family counseling services that bring in the parents, and of course the individual counseling services with students. But are there any other activities? You mentioned activities in the youth positive development services where you go to different outreach activities and cultural activities. But how often are the parents really connected with the program? I know the students are in school all day. The parents are probably at work. Like I work, my son is at the high school, senior at Trenton High. But what other ways are we linking the parents into the children and into the school climate?
So any student who participates in school-based services must obtain parental consent. So we can see a student one time without the consent. But in order to continually receive our services, we must obtain parental consent. So that in itself gives us that initial connection to the parent. And we try to engage parents as much as possible because we try to at least have a parent come in at least one time, because there's an entire assessment that we like to do with the parent as well. We partner more so this year with the school during all of the parent types of activities. So back to school night, the orientations for parents, the back to school extravaganza. And so now we're partnering with the school parental engagement types of activities and departments in order to present our services and then support parent engagement as an overall school type of outreach. And we're a component of the school.
That's awesome. Awesome. Denise, any, go ahead, Yolanda. Go ahead, Mel.
I mean, I was just going to say, sometimes parents participate in some of our field trips. So,
that's good.
Yeah, so.
That's a good combination. I guess they can serve two roles, chaperoning and
Yes.
parenting, right?
Yes.
Helping out with the other students as well.
So Gerald, before we go on, I want to make sure that Melda does talk about some of the challenges that school-based youth services will be experiencing with funding for the next year. It's already been made public by the state. And so this is such a valuable program that supports our students and gives them the counseling that's needed and the support, especially for our parenting teenagers. So Melda, can you just kind of talk very briefly about what was the announcement that recently came out from the state, and what does the community need to make sure that we are keeping aware of, that we're being made aware of?
So the commissioner, the DCF commissioner announced about a week and a half ago that after June 30th, the school-based youth services programs will no longer be funded. So there are about 90 school-based programs throughout the state of New Jersey in schools, rural, urban, and suburban districts. So she is proposing to eliminate all 90 school-based sites and replace them with 15 hubs throughout the state of New Jersey, to ensure that all students get grades K through 12 and in every school district would have access to those hubs, which would be like a centralized location, and then students are referred out for other services. So it impacts us because the design or the model of school-based is that it's on-site and accessible, and that we can meet an immediate need because there's a face and there's a place for students to come to. With this proposed model, all of the barriers as it relates to access are returned. So transportation, the likelihood that after school, a student or family will be able to access a hub. So these are all barriers. The whole piece that I talked about, the personalization and the rapport with staff, students will be referred to a hub and receive services from other services of people who, there may not be a continuity of services, or you may not have the opportunity to see the same clinician. You may be assigned to a clinician one day, but you may meet with another clinician another day, or just other types of services that have traditionally not felt safe, is the way I'll put it. So what we're asking the community to do, there are a number of ways that you can support the effort. There is a petition on the change.org website. If you just Google school-based youth services, that petition is up. So we're asking New Jersey residents to sign that petition. There is a concept proposal that was issued by the commissioner's office, and they're asking for feedback to that concept paper by the deadline to submit feedback is October 14th. And there is an email address. I don't know. Oh, can you see me? Something happened.
Yeah. Yes, I can see you. Denise?
Okay, I don't see you all anymore, but I'm going to keep talking as long as you can see me.
You're assigned co-host now, Melda, so if you wanted to share something, you would be able to.
Right, but for some reason, whatever happened, you all just disappeared when you did that. So I can't even find you or see you.
So Melda, just continue on, and what we'll do is we'll make sure that that site and information is made available next weekend, and then we'll make sure we get that out to the community. I know we're running.
Okay, so responding to the proposal, calling the governor's office and basically saying, do not take school-based youth services programs out of schools, writing the governor's office or your local state and assembly members, contacting them as well. So I have all of that information here, and like I said, I don't even see the screen anymore. So I can't even put it in the chat right now, but I can get you that information.
We'll make sure that we definitely get it out. Yeah.
Yes.
And we're also
we'll make sure that we also present it. We'll make sure we present it again in a future broadcast very, 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 very soon.
Thank you. And so we're also looking for any students who were alumni of the program and who may want to share their own personal stories via email or letters to our local legislators.
Probably up to our time. I'm not sure. I'm not keeping the time, but I want to thank Melda Grant, our coordinator of school-based youth services, for joining us this evening on our broadcast, Trenton Talks. Again, on WIMG 1300 AM at 7 p.m. on Tuesday nights and 11 p.m. on Verizon Channel 28 on Thursdays. And of course, co-host Denise Crease for Trenton Public Schools, parent coordinator, homeless liaison. And I want to thank also our assistant superintendent of secondary schools, Hope Grant. Thank you so much for taking your time to be a part of the broadcast and behind the scenes doing the work that's required to make sure we get this done and present to our community the work that's happening in the districts to support student achievement and other activities for our students to achieve. So thank you so much. Everyone, God bless you. Have a good night.
Thank you.